just before we head into the session discussion, I would like to just go over a quick introduction. Myself, I'm a senior marketing manager, currently working at Barnes & Noble. I lead the affiliate program there. Prior to joining Barnes & Noble, I was at 1-800-Flowers. Have over about 6+ years of experience in this industry. A lot of same people. It's like a big, tight family, and I was managing essentially all 360, view of the channels: SEM, affiliate, comparison engine, SEO, and here we are. We have 3 great panel experts here. The first one here we have is Sylvia Cintrón. She's from San Juan, Puerto Rico. She has over 15 years of experience in this industry. She currently oversees the affiliate and lead generation team at Digital 203, Area 203 Digital, pardon me, and currently has positioned her agency's affiliate team to be one of the top performing affiliate management teams nationwide. So accolades to Sylvia here for doing that. Next one we have is Dannielle Brantley. She is a senior marketing manager at LinkShare, and she has over 10 years of experience in this industry. She's currently responsible for devising digital marketing strategy that generates lead and ultimately top-line revenue for her top advertisers from various different verticals: finance, beauty, and so on. She's also been a very integral part of the adoption and growth of pay-per-call channel within LinkShare network, and has done a phenomenal job over last year, and has realized an average revenue growth of 153% year over year. So kudos to Dannielle for doing that and being in this industry and giving us this amazing channel. And next up is Stephanie Long. She is currently account executive at Shop at Home. She has attained a double degree in psychology and advertising, and she currently manages over 700 accounts. So I don't know where she gets the time to do all of the other stuff that she likes. She's an avid Badgers and Packers fan, if you'd like to, outside of the online industry. And she has done a great job, has managed successful campaigns for both large and small companies within the Shop at Home portfolio. So that's the view of the panelists and the here for the session. So let's get started. So here we are discussing the relationship between advertiser, publisher, and network. It's a symbiotic relationship. It's a give and take. Most people, in this industry, even though we have been here for over a long time, over 6 years, 7 years, 10 years, we kind of undermine the effectiveness of communication and how important it is to build the partnership, customized partnership, optimization campaigns with publisher and or advertiser or networks. There are key management best practices that we will be sharing today in this session that will help you guys able to foster and improve communication in all aspects of areas that you touch upon, may it be advertiser relationship, publisher, network. And this panel is just not about advertisers or publishers. It's about how we can work as a team and attain the best possible results for everyone involved. So that said, that takes us to the first very key component of building a relationship, and which is an introduction relationship. Here we have several different things. We are going to talk about the introduction, the launch phase, and the customized campaign stage. So the first up, I would like to ask you all, how many in this room consider yourself as a publisher? As a publisher, affiliate, a site, a website? No one? None? Okay. And how many of you wish that advertiser and or publisher would have provided you with helpful information to improve your campaigns? Advertiser networks. I love it if an advertiser gives good tips. Perfect. Well, we have someone. We have someone who can, talk to that. So let's start one of the most important stages in an affiliate partnership, which is the introduction. I would like to, give away to the panel here. So Sylvia, I know that you have, you're managing and overseeing the affiliate partnership at Area 203 Digital, and you're foreseeing a lot of different advertiser clients. From each of your perspective, how and what do you think, what information should be shared when an advertiser and a publisher are first getting off the ground, like learning about each other? What are the different things that we need to cover here?
Okay. Well, first of all, as an advertiser, it is completely important for you to own and understand your product. Communicate what your product is offering to the consumer and what will your affiliate program offer to your affiliates. It's also very important to know, own, and understand as well as communicate your competitors. The same way that you're learning about the way that your product and service has an engagement within the consumer, be sure to do the same within the way that your competitors are going to communicate to their own affiliates. Own and share your metrics. Communicate your KPI. Explain the offer from A to C to your affiliates. Are you going to have an affiliate program that is going to compensate a sale? Are you going to compensate a lead? Are you going to provide a percentage, or are you going to be paying your affiliates a flat fee? Also, this is the time for you as an advertiser to create and to communicate your guidelines. The guidelines are going to allow you to inform your affiliates about the ways that you would allow them or the ways that you would like them to promote your program. Let them know if you are going to allow search marketing, if you want your affiliates to promote you through email. This is your time right now to let everyone know what promotional methods you are going to allow within your program. Also, empower your affiliates and let them know any kind of information regarding regulations or restrictions that might be tied in to your product, your service, or your vertical. At the same time, be sure that you let them know anything regarding trends or seasonalities that might come hand in hand with your vertical. One of the things that I really like to accomplish is creating an affiliate persona. So you already have a brand that you have created that has a look and feel and that relates very well to your consumers. So as an advertiser, this is your time to say and identify what brand or persona you want to have for your affiliates. Create that brand that distinguishes you from your competitors within the affiliate channel and own it.
That's a great start to this conversation. I think being in this industry, I have known that many people, advertisers, publishers alike, they don't know their product, they don't know their program offer, they don't know what are the exclusions, they don't know what they can reward, how much can they go if an affiliate is going to be proved and bring you good volume, quality traffic. So I think this is great tips and takeaways for the audience here. Stephanie, I would like your take from a publisher's side. Before entering into a partnership with an advertiser, what do you think one should already know, and what should be the initial communication be like?
Yeah, Rooshina. Well, with what Sylvia said, it really is important to know your product. So Shop at Home, we're a loyalty coupon site, and there are many publishers in our landscape that we need to be competitive with. So in knowing your product, you really need to understand how you're driving revenue and through which channels, and also how you're beating your competitors in that space. And you need to be able to share these examples of how you're doing that. Definitely know all of the extensions of your site. So if you're doing a lot with social media, Facebook, Google+, Twitter, be prepared to share how you're using social media to acquire new customers. If you're doing email, you need to know your email database, share those metrics as well, especially if you can do customized campaigns. Also, site placements. If you're a big publisher that does a lot of events, make sure that your advertisers are aware of those different event opportunities out there. And then also you need to be able to really determine how you're beating them. In our case of cashback, we need to be able to show that we offer the best cashback out there. And then lastly, but perhaps most important, you need to be able to resonate with your customers, know your customers, and how those align with the consumers of your advertisers' demographic.
So one more question for you. So you said, you work with many advertisers. You're managing 700 accounts. So I'm sure you would have seen, breadth of different advertisers, customized campaigns that you may have worked with. Just from an introduction perspective, what do you consider when applying or accepting an advertiser from different networks? So are there any criteria that a publisher need to be kind of looking at? 1, 2, 3. Here's how I would accept an advertiser in my program.
We actually accept all new programs for a 3-month launch. The only challenges there might be if the offer contains any inappropriate or offensive content, we will not set it up. As I said before, we're a cashback loyalty site, so we want the offer to have a competitive commission rate with it so that we can be competitive, you can be competitive with other advertisers on our site in your category, but that we're also offering a competitive rate back against other publishers out there. So really, those are definitely the ways. And then once you've overcome those challenges, we can actually set up an offer the same day that the offer has been accepted. So our integrations beyond that are very simple.
That's great. That's good information. Because I, come from an advertiser side, there's a lot that goes on from a publisher and as well. So it's great to know. So it sounds like, it's really important for all the parties involved to be very knowledgeable about their product so that they can focus to work together and get the partnership off the ground. So Sylvia, from an advertiser's perspective, how do you relate of all of this, key components of the introduction phase, within the network? How does it not relate all together?
Well, the advertiser really needs to be working closely and hand in hand with the network in order to put together very strong acquisitions or recruitment strategies. The network is actually going to be working internally to recruit publishers for your program. But the advertiser doesn't stay there. It is very important for the advertiser as well to be moving around and looking into ways to do some organic recruitments. We could do organic recruitment in conferences, as the Affiliate Summit, joining social media group of interest, also looking into directories. It is at this point very important for the advertiser to know their strengths and know their competitive advantages and empower the network to represent the advertiser within the network and know as much as possible what you do so they could start recruiting within the network.
That's perfect. So now we have an advertiser perspective, we have a publisher perspective, and Dannielle, I would like to turn this on to you. Now that you're sitting literally and in between an advertiser and publisher as a network, how does the network manage each of these facets and facilitate the introduction phase?
Yeah, so we have the pleasure of working with many, many different advertisers, many different publishers, and it allows for us to organize information about what may possibly be the best match between the two. For us, it's more about education to the partners, to the advertisers about what they need to provide to us so that we can effectively match and get things going. So for publishers, some of the tips that we say is really know your company so that you can build trust in that advertiser. You can build trust with us, and then we can in turn pass along that trust when we're talking to the advertiser about your model and what you do. You should know how to present your company. You should be able to provide media kits or case studies of how you've done your promotions well, for advertisers of a similar kind. And it's just about really selling yourself and making it clear as a publisher that you know what you're doing in your particular space. And then on the advertiser side, it is very important for an advertiser to know their own offer. It sounds very weird that you would have to make that point, but we do. I've had quite a couple of conversations with advertiser reps who just were not really clear on what particular audience type really worked best for their product or service, or they didn't really know which channels really worked best for their particular type of product. So having that knowledge about your product, your service, and then being able to share that with your network rep is very, very important from the door when we're talking about trying to match and make that first introduction.
Perfect. So the key tip here is that be in the know. Maybe if you're an advertiser or a publisher, and then obviously from a network side, they need to understand both sides of the story. That leads to...
Rooshina, just one second. I
Sure.
want to also make another point. For advertisers, we in the network, we have a variety of ways that we can drive traffic to you. And it's very, very important for advertisers to have an open mind about that. I didn't want to forget about that particular point. Be open to what the publisher can do for you. It may not be what you've typically done before. So you should be willing to test things out, when you're trying to, talk to new partners and increase traffic for your campaign. And think about, really what the customer experience is, how you may be able to make it better through that partnership. And it might be something completely new, but you should definitely entertain it. So keeping an open mind is also really, really important.
Keeping open mind and be in the know. And that leads us to the next phase, which is the launch. Which is really critical, important, piece of the partnership here. Once we have realized that both parties can work well together, the question now here comes that how and what needs to be done in order for all the parties involved to launch a partnership successfully, smoothly, and in a timely manner. So, Stephanie, from a publisher side, given that you have experience of working with so many advertisers, how does it all fit into, your side of the world?
Well, we first look for content. So once you've launched, we need to build out a store page for you. And so for that to happen, we need anywhere from 50 to 100 keywords, short and long site descriptions. And then most advertisers upload their creative within the network. So we have your generic banners. But if you can provide any seasonal creative or any customized offers, that will really help in the launch phase. And then also, as I keep mentioning, as a loyalty site, we definitely have to be competitive with our cash back. So we can work with you and help you secure a competitive cash back rate on our site in the launch.
Perfect. And Sylvia, what about from an advertiser's perspective?
Well, if you manage a program that requires your affiliates to apply and you as the advertiser to review the application and review the sites, please be sure that you do so within the first 24 hours. You have an affiliate that is waiting right there to start promoting your product and your service. If by any chance through the application there are some things that are unclear, the site is not rendering, you don't have a clear understanding of how the affiliate will start promoting your site, please be sure, this is about communication, communicate with them. Let them know that there's information that is unclear and give them a timeline. Let them know what you need and when you need it. If by any chance within the timeline the information is still not provided, just go ahead and decline the application, but let them know that that is a not now, not necessarily a no, that they are going to be welcome to reapply to your program eventually. You have an affiliate that has just joined your program, send them a welcome email. Provide your contact information. Let them know from the start that you want to build a strong relationship with them. Provide them conversion information. Give them optimization tips upfront. After all, affiliates are here to make money. We need to let them know as advertisers that we want to help them increase their earning potential. As part of the communication, you could send them newsletters. Send them monthly newsletters, send them bi-weekly newsletters. Don't spam them though, but keep communicating with them. You could also communicate with your affiliates through independent affiliate social assets. You could create a Facebook affiliate page or a Twitter affiliate page and communicate with your affiliates best performing information about your creatives, any kind of trends that they might be regarding, like I mentioned before, your industry. Schedule discovery calls and also schedule monthly calls with your affiliates to just let them know how they're doing or keep them updated about any kind of changes that they might have been within your affiliate program or within your product. It is very important as well to provide information to your affiliates about the customer flow within your site. A lot of advertisers don't understand, like what Danny was mentioning before, that the end result of your affiliate program is directly related to the experience that the customer is going to have through your site. Publishers have joined your program, but that in any way doesn't mean that they're going to be actively promoting your program. So at this point, be sure to create an activation offer. You could offer a tier-based activation. So you tell your affiliates, from 1 to 5 sales, I'm going to give you 10% of commission. But from the 6th to the 10th, I'm going to give you 15%. Therefore, you're enticing them to promote your program more aggressively, and they're driving more traffic or more conversions to your site. Give affiliates a multi-tier, like I mentioned, offer from the beginning, so they might be wanting to just take things to the next level. What I have just talked about is going to open immediate communication within your affiliates.
Perfect. I mean, these are all great tips. I have, from my own experience, we just, I think in August of last year, we moved from Google Affiliate Network to LinkShare Affiliate Network, and we kind of went through, at Barnes & Noble, went through this whole, 360 overhaul of how we communicated, our offers, our terms and conditions. And I think, Sylvia is right on creating that portal, pages like Facebook, Twitter. The more information you're giving to your publisher, the more you're getting back. So don't think that it's a one-way street. So Dannielle, turning back to you again, from a LinkShare's perspective or from a network in general, what do you think are the important factors, to get the relationship off the ground?
So I'm looking at what are the pieces that we need to get things immediately going. There's some particular things, I'm calling it the 6 C's that we need to make sure of. So one is to just confirm the channel mix. So which channels are we going to be working this relationship through? Is it banner text link? Is it form host? Is it pay per call, direct email? What are those things? We also need to make sure we have compliant copy. So based off of the advertiser's product or service, there may be specific messaging that needs to be used. Maybe it's something broader where a partner has more leeway in to promote the campaign, but we need to make sure that the copy that's available in text links or just customized content is available for that publisher to use. And then the final is converting creative. So an advertiser should know what sort of messaging they should be putting in their banner images. If you have a consumer offer, if it's 20% off, then that should be in your banners and made available for publishers to pick up. If there's another aspect that's going to get that customer to convert, then make sure to put that in the links that you're using so that the publishers can really get that customer to flip in a timely manner.
So essentially, we are now saying that the launch, be in the know, the introduction rather, and the launch is, have your ducks in a row. That's the way to go. That leads into a very interesting and critical phase of a partnership, and this is where it gets fun. Now you know that a publisher has capability or has delivered leads to you. Things are progressing well. You are they are willing to push volume in terms of bringing quality traffic to your site. Everything is in place. How communication can drive the next step, which is the growth. And I would like to turn this on to Sylvia. So coming from an agency and managing many different advertisers, what are your thoughts on that? How do you think communication can lead to building a campaign, or I would say partnership, or a phase within a partnership that leads to growth, both from an advertiser perspective, from a publisher perspective?
Okay, we talked about sending emails, we talked about communicating through social media assets, and we talked about setting optimization calls and discovery calls. So during this process, it's very important that you analyze your affiliate sites individually. Do a personalized assessment. There are many tools out there that are going to help you do so. There's Alexa, there's Compete.com, there's Quamcast. Be sure that you communicate with each one of the affiliates how they are performing and how they are trending. Let your affiliates know that as an advertiser, you care. You need to identify any kind of challenges or roadblocks that the affiliates might face and provide them information to overcome them. Provide them information about best performance creative. Remember that the more information that you provide to your affiliates, the more informed and educated they're going to be into identifying the best way to promote your product and your service. Advertisers do have sometimes problems with empowering the affiliates, and I actually think that the more information that you give to your affiliates equals to best consumer results and better affiliates relationships. As an advertiser, I feel that it's our job to listen and to mentor the affiliates into success.
This talks to the very core of this particular session, which is, it's a symbiotic relationship. It's give and take. Don't think that you're giving out too much. I know from an advertiser perspective, coming from an advertising side, there's a lot of, you want to hold the information back, but you have to understand that the affiliate sites, the publishers are here to help and kind of bring that value that the affiliate industry in general, which is being efficient, bringing your consumers to your site with the very efficient rate. So I think this kind of talks to the very core. Stephanie, how does this all work out from a publisher side in terms of the growth period? What do you guys look for to get that advertiser campaign going?
The start of a campaign is really defining your goals and expectations. So you really need to work with the advertiser and the publisher and the network to really lay out clear, realistic goals. And then in the strategy phase, when you're developing a strategy, think about a clear timeline that also is realistic. So Dannielle spoke about customized creative. If you have to build out customized creative for an email send, make sure you're giving your creative team, your marketing team, time to work on this. And then really, during the implementation phase, you all need to continue to communicate. In a perfect world, everything would go seamlessly, but as we all know in affiliate marketing, that's not always the case. So definitely be prepared for any last minute changes. Keep all of your teams on board in that communication so that you can achieve the expected campaign. And then when you go to analyze your results, you first need to ask yourself, did you achieve the desired goal? And if you did achieve the desired goal, it's a win-win for all parties, but you definitely want to figure out why that was successful and then how you can continue that repeated success. But if the goal was not achieved, say in the case that your goal was to acquire new customers and drive sales through an email campaign, if that was not necessarily the case, you might have to ask yourself some questions. So the first, looking at the analysis there, maybe you had a really high open rate, so you may have had a very enticing subject line, but the creative and the offer included in the email wasn't as appealing, so your click-through rates were low. So you really need to take that analysis and learn from it and be prepared to share that with your team members.
And Dannielle, knowing that an advertiser is ready to get on board, optimize the relationship, publisher is doing their thing. How do you and how networks work to grow and optimize the relationship? I mean, you guys have all sorts of scenarios that come through. You have a relationship that's just getting off the ground, and you may have a relationship that might be mature and in the program for a while. So what are the different things that you guys work on from an network's perspective?
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest things is that when you do have this campaign and it's order active, the feedback is very, very important from both ends. So for us, we want the advertiser to provide us with back-end conversion metrics, especially when it's a lead generation type of campaign where often the commissionable action will happen at the beginning. But whether it's retail lead generation, we need feedback from the advertiser so that we can understand what's happening with the leads that are delivered to us, and we can share that information. We can share part of it, we can share all of it. It's at the advertiser's leisure, but we can share that with the publisher so they can understand how to improve upon their campaign. In our network, we have a variety of tools that allows for a publisher to track the different channels and methods of promotion. We have U1 signature reporting. We have floodlight pixel capabilities so partners can get information in real time. We have web service reporting so that they don't even have to log into our platform in order to get stats on how they're promoting the campaign. All these are methods and features that we have as the network to help the advertiser and the publisher to talk to one another through us. So it's very, very important in terms of feedback. And for the publishers, they should share all of the different ways that they are promoting the campaign, and all of the ways, not just the ways that are looking successful. So if they have 4 different channels that they're marketing through, they need to share that with us and let us know what they're using. If it's paid search, there may be some keywords that I can talk to the advertiser about that they should be using, and there may be some that they should be putting in, in their negative group. So just even bringing up that conversation, it can keep a partner from running a paid search campaign using keywords that they never should have used from the door. So it's that kind of communication and the use of some network tools that we can analyze a campaign and then take that information and then grow what's working and try to improve on what's not.
Perfect. And I know that being in the network, you do have access to the case study, and I would love for you guys to give some tips to the audience here and share what has worked, what does work. So all yours.
Sure. So yeah, I mean, we're not just up here just talking at you. I have some documentation I definitely wanted to share to show you that communication for your campaign can lead into real life results that the advertiser can touch and feel, and that the publisher can go and walk away to the bank with. So in this case study, we have a mature advertiser. They wanted to increase order volume without increasing their CPA, which many of you may be familiar with. You may hear people say, oh, just increase your CPA and that'll increase your order volume. That's not always the case. So here's a case where we did it by our network rep reviewed publisher touch points for the campaign. They realized that the landing page wasn't, really converting the best, and there was some alternative landing pages that the advertiser should make available in our network. So the advertiser had an open mind and made it available for us, and the results wielded that in the first 2 weeks, the conversion rate increased from 3.68% up to over 4%, and we saw an increase in valid order volume of 25%. So that's just a real life example of how an advertiser having an open mind and being willing to test can lead to just real life results.
Yeah, I mean, coming from an advertiser side, I think that the hesitation, whenever publishers reach out, it's like, hey, you know what, I would like to have a custom landing page. I think, advertisers just want to, throw the towel and just run. I don't think that, yes, there is work involved from, each of the sides, but I think it does make a difference. You're talking to a completely different consumer set that are coming through an affiliate side. It's not an SEM. You're talking about a pull mechanism, which is affiliate marketing, whereas there might be other channels like SEM, which is push. So you may not need to really cater the consumer set, but I think this talks, kind of hits the home run here that, advertiser does need to pay attention to custom landing page, and it does provide value to your overall campaign. And I know that LinkShare has this great new function, the paper call. I would like for you to kind of give some tips on that.
Yeah, so I wanted to highlight this particular channel because this is sort of the latest thing, and you may have been hearing more and more about pay-per call and mobile, and we kind of all have a sense that that's where it's going. We've been doing pay-per call since about 2008, and we've been using the Ring Revenue platform, actually the Power our call platform these days, and things have been going very well. But for this particular case study, the advertiser was new in the channel, and we were looking to improve upon, the activity that was passing through this particular channel and improve the lead quality. So this required for the advertiser to give us some back-end metrics that they normally do not share. And it was very, very important because what it allowed us to do is identify the publishers that were delivering calls that were converting very well, identifies the publishers that were not delivering calls that were converting very well, and then as a network rep, we were able to go out and segment our communication to each group. And it allowed us to talk to those guys that are doing well and say, what can we do to improve upon this? Are there any additional ways you can promote the phone number? Is there any other terms or custom content you need? And then for those guys that were not doing well, we were able to give them a real solid explanation for why they were not doing well, and then get them to also identify if there was anything additional that they can do in order to improve upon the conversion of their particular call leads. So what it led to is, in terms of just results, number one, campaign stability. So if no one talks and no one has the communication going back and forth, and we can't figure out what's wrong. If you don't figure out what's wrong for too long, that leads to advertisers wanting to leave because it's not working. And, that may lead to publishers not wanting to work because campaigns are just shutting off out of the blue. So it led to a more stable campaign. And then it also helped to improve the lead quality of the campaign, which was one of the goals we were looking for.
Perfect. This is great. I mean, so essentially the key here is that, don't shy away from different channels. Venture out, both from a publisher end and also advertisers end. If you are a big box retailer or, a mid to small, size business, I think all these channels outside of your traditional ways of finding consumers is important and valuable to both sides of the world, the publisher side and also the advertiser side. This leads into a very, very interesting stage here, which is the customization stage. Now that you have everything going for you, you have the strongest level of communication, how, as an advertiser, would you know when to build a customized campaign or a customized partnership? And also, from a publisher standpoint, how do you influence an advertiser to say, hey, you know what? I think we've been working for a long time. Let's do something new, a custom campaign that can, provide results and value from both sides. So Sylvia, would like to, get your take on this as to, what you have seen with your clients.
Well, two important keywords over here, like Dannielle was mentioning. The advertiser needs to listen, and the advertiser needs to be willing to test. So, of course, we cannot go and customize every single publisher that we have. So what we do is that we evaluate each individual publisher and then identify specific initiatives that we could run with different ones. This is not a cookie cutter campaign. So you need to create a plan with each individual affiliate and then identify why you went across. What is it that you want to get across with it? Create month-over-month expectations and goals. For example, you could have an affiliate that would like to have a specific size of banner. You could have an affiliate as well that would like to have a specific design or look and feel that it will marry their site. This also will go hand in hand with co-branding opportunities. You could have a shopping site that would like to have less friction with customer flow, and they would like you to offer them a co-branding site. So, go ahead and listen to them, test, and move forward. They could be publishers that are experts in search marketing. So why don't you just go ahead and identify a way to just test some trademark biddings? There could be also some publishers that are very strong into technology, driving traffic to your site through a back end, and they would like to just identify better ways to track the performance or track the source of traffic. So you might be able to place some tracking pixels in your site to be able to provide them that information. The most important thing over here, guys, is that the sky is the limit, but it would all be contingent to that open communication that they're in the 3 layers. In the affiliate, in the network, and in the advertiser. And like Dannielle was mentioning, that the advertiser is willing to listen and is willing to test.
This is great. Stephanie, does this all sound familiar? I mean, what do you think of a customized campaign? Because you have 100 different advertisers that you have working on your site. How do you pick and choose and select a campaign for an advertiser?
Well, for the advertisers that I've established a very open relationship with, while I would love to talk to them every day, we try to set up monthly calls. I think monthly calls are a great way to discuss new initiatives. We're all here to have meetings and talk about 2012 and our new goals for both, from every party. And I think that it's important to have those discussions so that you can stay on track. Along with new initiatives, really just building the relationship. There may be new product launches. I know that we talked a little bit about co-branded landing pages. I know those convert very well from the publisher standpoint. So it's a great idea to have that discussion and really create that opportunity, because when you're not having those conversations, you're missing out on a lot of opportunity, and that's definitely true across the board.
I completely agree. I think the calls, bi-weekly, monthly, I think it all. Even if it's nothing, you have a 5-minute conversation. I think it all adds up to a really better tomorrow. Personal life and professional life. I think communication works. Dannielle, from a network standpoint, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, there's more than one way to drive a lead, and that's really like the biggest message that I have. It's not always just banner text link and that's it, and you have your 5 top publishers and that's it. You always have room as an advertiser to figure out what other ways can we get some leads to our program, and which other type of partners should we be working with in order to make that happen. As a network, we have the ability to kind of see a lot happening all at once. We often have the ability to see what's hot and what's new first, because we have all these different kind of partners that are contacting us and that we're building relationships with. So use your network rep, ask them what's going on, what's working for others, keep your eyes open, and just be ready to test that out. For the publishers, it's share what you're doing that's new. And if you are doing something so new that it hasn't been done very often, then come with your expertise about it and build out, a landing page or build out the creative that the advertiser will need in order to get started. That just makes one less thing that the advertiser is going to have to do in order to try out your new channel. So everyone just needs to be proactive at this particular stage. And us as a network, once we have all this information, I'm able to go, to an advertiser, to Sylvia, and say, hey, I have this partner and this is what they're trying out, and I can give her supporting, information. This is what we would need to get started. What do you think? And then for, the shop on the publisher side, for Stephanie, I can say, we have this particular advertiser and they're looking to, get into social media. I know you guys have an outlet there. What do you guys think about including them in that particular channel? So the information that's shared with us, we're able to use that and make the appropriate match for a private partnership like this.
Perfect. And I know that, again, you have great data, that you can share with the audience here, coming from LinkShare. network. You guys have access to a lot of customized campaign details. So
so I wanted to just share another case study where testing out, setting up clear goals of what you want to accomplish from the door, and then executing and then following up on the results just really can lead to an improvement in campaign. So for this particular case study, the advertiser wanted to increase the conversion rate for the campaign. They wanted to enhance the customer experience and ultimately bring in more money for their campaign. So the strategy was to select only a few participating publishers for this. They set a specific timeline for when the campaign would be run, and then they actually did some A/B and allocated certain messaging to go out to certain groups. So there was, quite a few layers here, and it really reaped some really positive results. In terms of some of the key metrics for the campaign, like conversion rates, revenue, all of those saw positive increases. The conversion rate increased 65%, which was definitely one of the bigger wins from this particular campaign, and they definitely saw an increase in revenue as well. So it works.
Perfect. This leads to sort of like an overview of the entire session here. So we have, before we open up to the audience for questions, the key here is that, it's teamwork. It's working together as a team can be successful for all parties involved. It's a dynamic and ever-changing industry that we're working in. And, in order to be successful, I think teamwork is the essential. It's a key element here. I always try to tell my team that it's not one hand, it's many. Because I come from India and we have the seventh wonder of the world, which is the Taj Mahal. And if you see, it's a great little monument, but to build that, you needed many hands, not one. So that kind of leads me to kind of think also a conversation that Sylvia and I had yesterday. Sylvia, on to you.
Well, I think we all forget that we're here in the industry of service. And as advertisers, we're here actually to serve the networks and to serve the affiliates. And actually, we're here to mentor both of them into success. We, as advertisers, have the job to create and build strong and transparent communication funnels in between the advertiser and the affiliate, and the advertiser and the network. We communicate frequently through email, and I would like to just provide you with some tips about how to optimize our communication in a written way. So for those of you that communicate frequently in email, what I do is that I follow the rule of the three. So the rule of the three means that every communication that I try to send has 3 words in the subject line. The body of the email consists of 3 paragraphs, and each paragraph of not more than 3 sentences. That really allows me and my team to communicate concisely, directly, and to the point with everyone. Like I mentioned, we communicate frequently through email, and sometimes we tend to hold some emotions and probably misinterpret the information that is provided through email. So then again, we're talking today about communication. If by any chance there's a message that is unclear through an email, reach out, ask for clarifications. If you commit an error, own it. It's going to happen. Learn from it and move forward. So guys, at the end of the day, from failure you learn, and from success, not that much.
So that kind of wraps up our session here, and we'd like to open up, for the audience. If you guys have any questions, you can come up to the microphone, and I'm sure the panelists will do a fabulous job answering anything that you may have in mind. If not, then you guys can have a wonderful rest of your evening and conference. Hope you guys have made a lot of great networking, exchanging the cards. You have a question? Would you mind coming up to the...
So we're from a network, and we primarily only work with 3 advertisers. And what I noticed is that 2 of my advertisers are really busy, and they don't practice the communication skills that you ladies are displaying here for us today. And so far for about a year, I've been just saying, okay, and just trying to move forward and doing the best we can with with the offer pages that are being provided, and just more focusing on our service to the affiliates, knowing that it's like having two crutches and one's gone. So we're just like, running with the affiliates and kind of like on one leg with the advertiser. How would you suppose I try to maybe work on that without, what I want to say, accusing them of not communicating properly with us?
Yes, so what's your name?
Flo.
Hey, Flo.
Hi.
Hey, Danny. So, yes, I feel your pain in that one.
And I'm not sure if it's on both sides or what. And I know that our relationship does, mean a lot to them. We do generate,
Right.
pretty good revenue.
Right.
I just, I don't like to point the fingers, and I want to make sure we all are, in healthy communication.
Yeah. One of the things that that I didn't mention earlier was like resources are very, very important for an advertiser to basically explain what those resources are from the door. So I'm going to get to your question in a second, but if you do onboard a new advertiser to your network, make sure that one of your questions to that advertiser is, how big is your team? What are your resources in terms of building out creative? Do you do that in-house, or is that something that you have to go out and have taken care of in an outsourced manner? Because that's going to give you a sense for how quickly you can get new creative built out. For landing pages, which seems like to be your issue, how you can ask a new advertiser from the door, what would it take for us to get a new landing page from you? So those questions are great for you to know from the door. And that way, you'll be able to manage the expectations, and you can even let that advertiser know, well, look, we're going to need a new landing page from you in 3 months. So can you put that into your tech queue right now, since it's going to take you 3 months in order to even get something like that set up? So that's just after, dealing with that, that's how you can try to mitigate that. But in terms of right now, the clients that you have now, if they are not responding to, hey, we need a new landing page, then you're going to need to get a little more aggressive in, number one, forecasting. So you may say to them, your competitors have this sort of flow. This is how it's different from your customer flow, and this is the difference in lead volume that we are seeing. So you're providing them with actual metrics that shows what the issues are. You can send that over to your day-to-day rep. If you're still not getting a response, then you may need to kick it up a level in your organization. You may have now your manager, your VP, your director want to send a message over to their director or their VP and say, hey, we've been trying to do some things with your campaign in order to increase order volume, but we haven't been able to move forward. I'm just doing a little check. We want to make sure our clients are, happy in our network. Can we have a conversation about this? So these are the different ways that you can let them know that it's a partnership, because it is. We as a network, we're in a partnership. So if they don't deliver, then we can't deliver. So it's in nobody's best interest to point fingers. We just need to figure out how can we get the improvement to happen. So those are two ways that you can try to make an effect on these advertisers.
Yeah, and I think Sylvia had a great point earlier, creating that personas, the affiliate persona and an advertiser persona. I think it works because, you are trying to, as soon as you're launching the relationship, try to find out what's the best way to reach them. Sometimes, people are more, I guess, responsive, with phone calls. Others are not. So I think getting that kind of sense of what is their comfort zone and how can you, how they like to have a conversation. I think that's very important. Sometimes it's not they're busy. It's just that,
Yeah. I was going to follow up on that too, that, once you've applied and accepted, you need to have that call first off the bat.
Right.
You may be so busy and overwhelmed, but if you can just take, 10, 15 minutes out of your day and even let them know, this is just a quick intro call. This is not, we'll get to the program review later on after we've had a successful or a launch and, after the 3-month period, go back and look. But getting on that intro call is really, really important.
Perfect. Does that answer your question? Okay, perfect. Does anyone else have a question? No? All right. Well, have a wonderful rest of your afternoon, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.